Hey guys, I just wanted to take a quick second to make a little video on the. It's actually going to be a video response to the Yankee Marshals video that he just put up not too long ago. Um, I completely agree. I definitely think we can't look like the tinfoil hat wearing nut jobs. We have to actually go about it in a sensible way. So if you're going to argue gun control, the number one thing is like in the Yankee Marshals video, you can't keep defending the tools. You have to defend the argument of it is our right to have these tools. And the reason why it is your right is because of the fact that that's what, that's what the people who founded this country believed in, was you don't have guns to go sporting. This whole uh, Obama and Feinstein and everybody like that saying that you don't need an AR-15 for hunting, you don't need an AK-47 for hunting. It's not for hunting. It is not for hunting. I do not carry a Glock into the woods to go kill deer. It's not a hunting matter. I don't own guns to hunt. I don't hunt. I live in Northeast PA. It's a very prominent hunting community. I don't hunt. I don't feel the need to hunt. I know a lot of people that do. If you do, that's great. Problem is I don't particularly hunt because I don't feel the need or want. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go out and sit in a stand and wait for deer to come by, to me, is just kind of not fun. Anyway, that's, if you like that, that's great. If not, that's great too. But the problem is this whole argument with Obama and all the other gun control people, this whole thing about they're saying that, if you take the AR-15 away or the AK-47 away, you're not destroying the traditions of hunting and sporting. No, you're not. But the problem is if I want to own an AR-15 or an AK-47 or anything like that, if I want to own that stuff, what the fuck is it to you? If I want to own those guns, it's my priority, it's my thing. There's a lot of people that go out and spend damn good money on AR-15s, AK-47s, and make them their own. They go out and spend hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars on these rifles, and they go make them their own, and they go make them the exact way that they want to. Problem is they do it because it's theirs. That's their hobby. A lot of people do this because it's a hobby, because they like guns. The whole thing about protecting my house, I can protect my house with a pistol. Don't get me wrong. If need be, I will use other means. I will use other guns. I will use whatever I have to get the job done, I will. The problem is when we take guns to a gun range or when we go out shooting and we have fun, we're not hurting anybody. If anything, we're stimulating the economy. There's a gun shop that's 2 miles down the road that we go and buy cases of ammo from. Cases. Thousands and thousands of rounds. And we go and buy magazines from them, and we go and buy guns from them, and we go and buy parts from them, and we go and buy magazines and all that stuff. We spend our hard-earned money on stuff that we like because of the fact that that's what we like. Some people sit down and they'll spend money on video games. They'll spend money on TVs. They'll spend money on cars. I'm a huge car guy, but I like guns too. I spend money. I kind of split it up. If most of this is a hobby. The problem is if I want to spend my hard-earned money on an AR-15, whether it has a 30 round and whether it has a 30 round magazine, which is what it was designed to have. I'm tired of going to gun stores and seeing AR-15s or like my Sega had a 10 round magazine in it because it's considered a hunting model, that is technically a sporting rifle and it has a 10 round magazine. Now, to get rid of the 30 round magazines, an AK-47 and an AR-15 were designed to use a 30 round magazine. And for this whole thing to be called, for an AR-15 or an AK-47 to be called an assault rifle is a select fire weapon. That means on your selector switch for your AR-15, that means you have a fire, one shot, safe, and a multi-shot. So I don't know. My friend has a Colt AR-15, and his AR-15 shoots one at a time. So it's just this whole thing about, we need to preserve the hunting and sporting heritage of this country. Yeah, you do. Don't screw with that, because I know a lot of people that enjoy doing that. They take their kids out. They go out with their parents. Everything like that. That's a big thing. Problem is you don't need to take away an AR-15 or an AK-47. Problem is if you had an assault weapons ban in now, would that have stopped that kid going into Connecticut and shooting children? He stole guns from his mother. So either way, if he didn't do it with an AR-15, he could have did it with a shotgun. He could have did it with a pistol. He could have did it with a bunch of different guns. You get rid of assault weapons, what are you doing? You're taking the means of having 30 rounds in a gun. The only other problem is you look at history that is past. Okay? Columbine was by far one of the worst school shootings of my life. That was on the news for weeks, and that was absolutely terrible. Not saying the one in Connecticut isn't, because I think that one is a lot worse because of what happened, because of there's little kids that didn't get to go home for Christmas. But Columbine happened during assault weapons ban, and that was the worst school shooting of its time. Now, they didn't use assault weapons. They used shotguns. So either way, you're still going to have these terrible things happening. It's part of life. For every 10 people that want to do good in the world, there's always going to be a few bad ones. There's always going to be somebody who wants to rob you. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't feel like going out and working and feels like he can go and rob you, or for whatever reason he can go into a store and rob them, whether it's with a knife or a gun. If somebody walks into a convenience store with a gun, somebody's going to turn over money. If somebody walks into a convenience store with a friggin' machete, they're still going to turn over money. So as far as getting rid of assault weapons, which is what I classify as just a semi-automatic rifle that, contains more than 10 rounds, in my opinion, it's just ignorant, and it's stupid to just pin it on that. Because of the shooting happened with an AR-15 does not necessarily mean that the AR-15 was the problem. The problem is the person that was behind the gun was the problem. He should have never been able to get his hands on those guns. He should have never ever been able to touch them. He should have never been able to have them. I understand it was his mother's hobby, and I'm not blaming the mother. Whatever the mother's hobby, I don't have children, and how she raised her son is how she raised her son. But the problem is stop blaming the tools that commit the crime. Blame the people that commit the crimes. because if somebody commits a crime with a pistol, you're not going to take away all pistols, which happens a lot. And just remember, especially for the ones that are watching this that are the anti-gun people, if you take away the AR-15s and the AK-47s from the general public, the legal people, you're still going to leave them in the criminals' hands, because after all, you don't buy a legal gun and go commit a crime.